Hi, this is 365801 and we're about to tier rank some male-male romance tropes. So a couple of years ago I watched a video from a booktuber called Bookmarked for Later. She's over on YouTube. Go subscribe, watch her videos. She made a video 2 years ago called Tier Ranking Male-Male Romance Tropes, Adult Book Edition. And she made the tier list. So you can go and do the tier list as well, which is what I'm about to do. I loved her video. I watched it several times just because it was so entertaining and it just made me think I want to do this too. At the time, I was like, okay, I can maybe get round to doing it, and I've just completely forgotten. And recently, I remembered it again, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I really want to do this. So the tier list that she made is available, so you can actually do it too. I'm not even going to say this is inspiration. I'm just wholeheartedly saying, go and watch her video because this is just going to be me doing the exact same thing that she did. She is like full credit to Bookmark for Later. So go and give her some love. Now for the tier ranking, we're just going to use the same system that she used because it works and I understood it. It was great. So Mariah Carey is like S tier. Why are you so obsessed with me? I am obsessed. I will read anything that has this trope in it. Ariana Grande, I want it. I got it. If it has this, I'm probably going to read it even if it's an author I'm not really so much of a fan of. Oh, it feels like, yeah, that's a trope I really want to read. Heidi Klum, one day you're in and the next day you're out. This is for a trope that, if done well and maybe done by the right author, I'm a fan of. But if it's done wrong, ugh, it's not great. Randy Jackson, it's a no from me, dog. This is like not the worst, but I'm probably going to avoid it if possible. If it's in something and like my favorite author does it, then it's like, oh, damn, how did that slip by me? So yeah, that's one like, oh wow, sometimes that's actually all right, but most of the time, nah. And then Big Sean at the bottom, I don't fuck with you. That's like, get out of here, I ain't touching that with a barge pole. And there might be a few things like that. So yeah, these are all of the rankings, and I'm just gonna go through the different tropes and see where I put them. Okay, so we got it all set up, we're ready to go, and we're just going to start with this first one. The first one is Omegaverse. I'm just going to put it here for just now. And this is one that I thought I would hate, along with another one, which I'll talk to about in a minute. But this one, I I honestly thought I was going to hate it. But because I've come from it through BL manga, which is a completely different way to come at it. It started in male romance in America or in fan fiction, and then it was brought over to Japan, and then it's kind of spread from Japan out to other like web comics and things like that. And I genuinely thought I would hate this, and you already know if you've watched any of my videos. I am trash for Omegaverse. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I am trash for it. I love Omegaverse. I don't like angsty things at all, and yet Omegaverse is full of the angst. It's just full of it. But it also comes with so many things like heats and the alpha, beta, omega, oh, all of that. And I know it's not for everyone. It certainly is not for everyone. But for some strange reason, it gets me. And especially when it's subverted in some way. Because the whole thing about male-male romance or BL is that a lot of it was due to the necessary component of the taboo. And gay relationships were taboo. And so sometimes that's one of the reasonings behind how male-male romance or BL came about. It's because taboo stories became less taboo in real life, and so that's why historical romances are so popular, like class and poverty and lords and ladies and all that kind of stuff. Whereas nowadays, there's not a lot to stop someone from being in a relationship, but Omegaverse gives you that whole other level of taboo that I love. So yeah, Omegaverse is up there. If it's If it's a BL manga Omegaverse, there is 100% chance that I'm reading it. 100% chance. If it's a male romance, which this is, there is a very high chance that I'm gonna read it. Like, it doesn't matter who's written it. In fact, if it's trashy, I think I'm gonna like it even more. Like, if it's cackle, laugh out loud so bad that it's good, brilliant. So yeah, Omegaverse. And I have read Unnatural. I'm just trying to remember what it was about. Was it about the whole, like, that was like a space one, wasn't it? You see, I can't even remember. But yes, Omegaverse is top tier for me. Okay, next one is Shifters. And I've got TJ Klune Brother Song, which I have read as well. Wow. This is another one which I thought I was definitely not going to love. I don't know why I keep thinking that. Like, oh no, this is so trashy. It's like my snobby attitude from years gone by comes and raises its ugly head, and then I read something and go, trash. I'm trash for it. And Shifters, and it doesn't matter what kind of shifter it is. Doesn't matter. Although I have to draw the line, I just downloaded some bookworm romance things from the website. Go and check them out every few months. They give you loads of free books. And one of them was a shifter romance, but they shifted into balloon animals. And I'm like, no, that is wrong. But I do like animal characteristics. So when someone shifts into a dragon or a wolf, I'm pretty trashy for it. That's not to say that everyone is good. Not all shifter romances are created equal. And so I gotta say, I got it. But it also is a little bit is one day you're in and the next day you're out. I think it depends. There are a lot of shifter romances that I've started and gone, oh, this is trash. It also makes me think I could really easily write. It's so bad that it's bad. So shifters, I'm not too sure. Do I put it in I want it, I got it? Because I will probably give it a go, and then eventually it'll come into this one. So it depends. So I think I'm gonna have to put it into the second tier, because it doesn't matter who wrote it. If it's got this in it, I might give it a go, but I'm not gonna love it. Whereas Omegaverse, it doesn't matter. It can be really trashy and I'll probably still enjoy myself. Whereas shifter ones, I'm like, no. I can't remember which one it was. I was reading, and it was all about like scent marking, and there was a lot of peeing. And I was like, nope, enough of this. So yeah, Brother Song is not like that. Oh, Brother Song. Oh, I love that one. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to be chatting too much. Right, this is Age Gap. Ooh. And I could probably put that in it's a no from me, dog, straight away. I really don't like Age Gap. I've just been talking online today on Instagram, and talking about daddy kinks and how I haven't read a lot that has daddy kink in it that I like. I don't know if that's going to come up, but a lot of that kind of comes down to the age gap thing and the power imbalance. And I don't mind a power imbalance if it's done right, but age gap sometimes comes with the power imbalance that I don't like, especially if it's done poorly. And even my absolute favourite male romance authors can do age gap, and it still doesn't sit well with me. Sometimes I'm just like, no. It's very rare that I enjoy an age gap romance. Very rare, especially if they switch, that's fine. But if it's very much like the older man and he's in charge, and sexually he dominates the younger man, I'm not really a fan. If they switch, if it is a younger dom, quite happy with that. I like an old man uke. I like an old man uke. So that age gap, oh, that would be up here or up here. But general age gap with an older man as the aggressor, as the semi, I'm not a fan of. But if you flip it, that's a totally different trope. Yeah, I love old man ukes. Love them. Love them. That's like Monster and the Beast. That's what I like. So yeah, this changes things if it's done right, but generally I will try and stay away from it. Okay, next one. This is college. I don't really think of this as a male-male romance so much. Maybe it's just the setting of it. Um, Sometimes it depends on how it's written. Now, if it's an adult one, like I'm trying not to think, if I'm honest, I'm trying not to think of the Franklin University series that they released last year because so many of them were like, ugh, poor, boring. I really did not enjoy them. Like, where was the tension? Where was the tension? There was only like one or two that I actually really enjoyed. Um, College. I'm trying to think of good college ones. Maybe no. I don't think I actually really enjoy college ones. I mean, occasionally, that's what my whole point is. Out of that six, what was it, six different titles in that series, I liked one or two, maybe two and a half at a push. So one day you're in and one day you're out. That seems pretty much accurate. So I can read a college one, but that doesn't mean I'm going to guarantee I'm going to like it, and I might not finish it. DNFs are my friend. So yeah, maybe even in the it's a no for me dog. Yeah, young boys, meh. Although Serena Bowen, Elle Kennedy, that was a good one. That was a great one. Yeah, so I think this is the right space because sometimes it's in, sometimes it's not. Yeah, definitely. Okay, next one. Oh, fake boyfriend. Oh God, it's so good. So good. But how good? But how good is fake boyfriend? Is it I want it, I got it? Or is it why you so obsessed with me? And I think it's why you're so obsessed with me. I think I think I love I think I love Mariah Carey. Why you so obsessed with me? Fake boyfriends. I think I really enjoyed the fake boyfriend series. I really enjoyed it. I think I generally like fake boyfriends. I don't think I've read too many fake boyfriends that I didn't enjoy. Yeah, I think this is one that yeah, I think I would if this was in the synopsis, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna give it a go. And I'm probably gonna enjoy it. Yeah, I think that's a definite I'm picking this up. I love fake boyfriends. So yeah, what's the next one? Friends to lovers. This is a tricky one. I'm trying to think of ones that I actually enjoy. Friends to lovers. I do like friends to lovers, but I think it has to be more specific, like uh childhood friends to lovers that have gone through something. Like they were friends, then they stopped being friends, and then they ended up meeting again. There was animosity, and then like basically, am I just describing the plot of him, us, an epic? I think so. So I think maybe that's the right place. One day you're in, and the next day you're out. Because generally, friends to lovers, mind you, it does have that gay pining side of it, and I do like. So okay, here's the thing. If you've got one of the friends is gay and it's got gay pining, and then eventually the other friend has a bisexual awakening, then that is top tier chef's kiss. Especially because you've had friends to lovers and it's like long term pining. That I am 100% on board, and that would be up here. But that's a really specific trope rather than just friends to lovers. It has to be childhood friends or long term friends with masses amount of gay pining. Then we're higher up here. But just friends to lovers, like in passing, nah. But I do love gay pining. And that's very much steeped in the friends to lovers. Unless it's like oh, whoops, we got drunk and had sex one night, even though we're friends. I don't know. I need some more recommendations of friends to lovers to see if there's more to that. Okay, gay for you. Now this is an interesting one because I think my understanding of this and generally society's understanding of it has changed so much with how we understand sexuality and the fluid nature of sexuality and the faceted nature of sexuality. Because for a long time, people hated this gay for you because it erased bisexuality. It was bisexual erasure, and people were like, "That's not true. That's not real. It doesn't work like that. It's just bisexual awakening." But then you do get people who are demisexual or demi-romantic and that kind of thing, because there's so many more nuanced sexualities. We're not just always one thing either. We're fixed, and so we are fluid. So I understand gay for you, but after all that explanation, I'm going to say it's not for me. I'm not such a fan. I don't think I've come across enough gay for yous. Um, no, I much prefer gay pining and bisexual awakening. I much prefer that than just gay for you. That's not to say that I don't know people who have had gay relationships. I have. I know people who were 100% straight and then they met someone and they were like, "Oh, but then we had this relationship." Um and if you ask them, they would be like, well, what we do is it's very gay. But do I find other men attractive? No. But I'm in love with him. It's like, so yeah, it's a no from me generally. But if it's done really right, it can be top tier. I can't even think of one off the top of my head because I haven't read Bear, Otter, and the Kid. Now, if you add kids into it, that's why Omegaverse is so great. There's usually children as well. That's a whole thing. Love children and gay relationships. Right, next one. Let's see. Out for You. Oh, this is different, and it's going right down the bottom. Well, I don't know. I haven't read Lawless, so I don't know if that's like exactly what I'm talking about. But Out for You, like it's bound to happen eventually. So is it the love in the relationship that's being kept a secret, and then eventually they're like, see, I don't like that because I really do feel that people need to live the lives that they live purely for themselves. So if they choose to be out, they shouldn't choose to be out for someone else. They should choose to be out for themselves and in the right way and in the right moment and multiple times, because when you come out, you don't just come out once. You have to come out again and again and again in many different ways to many different people. So yeah, no, I don't like that Out for You. I think that's a very personal thing. So yeah, I don't like people forcing people to be out. What did I read? Game Changers, Rachel Reid. And so coming out just after you win the Stanley Cup on national TV by kissing your boyfriend is a great way to come out, and came out not for the boyfriend, came out for himself. That's as it should be. So Out for You, no. Out for yourself. Get me. Let's try the next one. Let's see. Best friend's dad. Ooh, see, this is also the whole age gap thing. Like I said, if it depends. Are you railing your best friend's dad? Or are you getting railed by your best friend's dad? One feels kind of gross in my mind. One feels not gross at all. And that comes down to my preference of old men being railed. I love it. I love it. I'm giving way too much of myself away here. But best friend's dad, generally, I'm not a fan of one way or the other. I'm not really a fan of that. I don't know, like it's fun to think of, but in real life, that's a lot of people's, you're having to deal with. So, yeah, that's probably, I don't know, are you fucking the dad? Yeah, I don't really fuck with you. I don't really fuck with you because I really feel bad for the best friend. And that's betrayal that you're not going to get over from both your best friend and your dad. No, there's too many people getting hurt in this one, and that's a lot of anxiety. And I don't know if my anxiety can take that. Enemies to lovers. Ooh, now you know I'm going to say this is good because everyone loves a good enemy to lovers, but it depends. Is it real enemies? I love a good enemies to lovers one. It's probably I got it because it's not always perfect. And that's because it's not always properly enemies to lovers. Is it just a little bit? Like, is it Pride and Prejudice? You know? Is it just a little bit of we don't get on? And then you kind of get to know the person, and then you're like, oh, they're actually not too bad, and then I'm getting feelings, and there's a bit of pining and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind that, but I also think it has to be done right. Like the Big Bad Wolf series started off with a bit of enemies to lovers because you've got the shifter and the human, and there's definitely miscommunication and misunderstandings there, but a whole lot of sexual tension. I loved it, but I'm not sure if I would class that as an enemies to lovers story. So yeah, it depends. It depends. That one's a big question mark on whether it's great or not, but generally I do enjoy it, and generally I would pick it up. So yeah, let's see what the next one is. Hurt comfort. Ooh, no. I'm so sorry. Oh, that generally seems to be everyone's like go-to. Like everyone loves grumpy sunshine, hurt comfort, and I don't at all. Um, there's so much of it in BL and male romance, and just in romance in general. There's a lot of hurt comfort. Um, and no, I don't really care. I really like it's the angst of it all. Like, oh, come on. And every single time I'm like, one of you should be in therapy, if not both, but definitely one of you should be in therapy. I'm trying to think of a good hurt comfort that I've read. Have I read any? Oh, well, hold on. Would we count some of Lynn Van Dorn's... See, this is the thing. Would we count some of Lynn Van Dorn's works as hurt comfort? Because I have read a lot of her works. She's got a lot of these tropes. Like, she's got age gap that I'm like, but I still will read everything that she writes. And she does a lot of BDSM stuff that involves someone who has been hurt in some way, and the comfort is the BDSM. So maybe it's up here. That it's a general note, or up here even. Yeah, I don't know. Generally I will say no, I'm not interested. I'm trying to think of any specific ones off the top of my head. So I need you in the comments to be like, hey, you read this? This is classed as hurt comfort. Maybe I need to do more research on this. But generally it's a no for me. I'm gonna put it here. Generally I would say that's a no from me. It's not something I'm interested in. In fact, I would probably be like, nah, I don't want the angst. Next one, male plus. And that's Robbie Ella Frank. I have not read, is it the Confession series? I have not read any Ella Frank. Oh no, I have. I read the Blaine? Ella Frank and Blaine, I can't remember what her name, Brooke Blaine, there you go. And that was the guys who were in basically it was very, very gay Top Gun, like Top Gun's gay anyway, but very, very gay Top Gun, and I loved that first volume's cliffhanger. That was amazing. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about male. And I generally will say, I don't think I've read enough polyamorous stories. I read this year, I think I read it twice actually, was Can't Say Goodbye. That was an Eden Finlay one, wasn't it? And it was a spin-off from the Franklin Yu one that I actually liked. And that had characters in it that I already knew, and it had a couple of other characters, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I wouldn't have said that I absolutely loved it. I just don't think I've read enough. So I'm open to suggestions when it comes to prose, male romance prose, because when it comes to webcomics or manga, I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Menage a trois, yes. Polyamory, yes. So like one of my absolute favorite, and I've mentioned this a few times in the last few videos that I've made, chocolate strawberry vanilla. is a psychedelic title that Junimaga have the license for, but they have not actually published because they're going through everything else in their Kickstarter. And the last thing on the list was chocolate strawberry vanilla, and that is a threesome. That is a polyamorous relationship, and I loved it. Like, it's my absolute favorite psychedelic title. So I'm going to put this here because I don't think I've read enough, but what I have read, I have enjoyed, and I certainly wouldn't say no. I've even read quite a few MMF ones, and I'm alright with that. It's kind of like, oh, okay. Now, here I know we've got the next one, which is going to be, oh no. See, the thing is, I'm not reviewing Bond, which is one of my absolute favourite books ever. We're reviewing MPreg. And I was a hard pass, hard no. I was a I don't fuck with you for a long time when it came to MPreg. Back in the live journal days when we had you know, the hoops we had to jump through. So my friend was a big reader of fan fiction, and I was like, I'd rather read an actual book. I was such a snob. And also, she was like, no, this is something you need to read. It's really funny, and I want to watch you read it. So before videos on YouTube were of live reacting to things, she wanted my live reaction. And this was like, it must have been 2011, because what she wanted me to read was a Gon Killua Hunter x Hunter fan fiction. Now you can see where I'm going with this, and yes, you're now about to go squeamish. So she was like, okay, so here's the site I want you to go to, and then you have to put in this code, because you needed a code to access the site, because some fanfictions were behind codes, because that's the hoops we had to go through. And because she wanted me to read a couple of other things, she wrote the websites down on a piece of paper, you know, with all of the capital letters and the numbers and the forward slashes and then the codes and stuff. She'd written it all down on a piece of paper. This is the hoops we had to jump through to get our smut. But she was adamant that I read this fanfic, and I was like, okay, but these boys are 12. Are they not 12 in this fanfic? And she was like, no, they're still 12. And I was like, this is wrong, and I'm not happy about it. And she made me read this in front of her on her little laptop, on her little table, as we sat on the floor eating Kit Kats and Pocky. And I was not impressed with her. I had to be like, I'm gonna go home and have a shower. So yeah, I was a big no thank you, this is not right. MPreg, I was not interested for the longest time. I think Omegaverse has a lot to answer for when it comes to my acceptance of MPreg, and also the fact that I enjoy some MPreg. So for example, this series, the Forbidden Desire series, it's not for everyone, but it's got shifters in it as well. So you're basically saying Omegaverse and shifters, the dragon shifters, together with MPreg, and that's me. I'm like 100%. This has got everything. And this particular one, Bond, has Everard, and he is just my favourite. He's such an idiot. For being such a genius, he's such an idiot, and I love him. But the final book that hasn't come out yet, the one prior to that, was Peregrine's Story, and in that book there was a lot of discussion about childbirth and fertility and conception and miscarriage. And I think that sometimes MPreg is a way that authors, whether they're female or not, I assume a lot of the MPreg ones are female, but that's maybe not the case. It is a good way to explore these themes that are very central to people who have the ability to have children and what people go through. And it's a way to explore that sometimes trauma that comes along with it, whether you are fertile or infertile, and whether or not you had a miscarriage or not. And that's it. All of these things are very common and very central to a lot of women's experiences, and sometimes not. But it's a great way to explore them without the female body. And I do understand that, because I sometimes struggle with reading MF romances because of the inclusion of the female body. So I would say uh, mm, I I like it most of the time, but then Bond's right here, so I have to put it right at the top. Also, because I love family stories. I love found family, but I also really enjoy children in stories like that. And I know that's not for everyone, but I love it. I love babies and kids and that kind of thing. And the domesticity, I love it. Love it. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. We've only got a couple more. Out of This World. So it's kind of fantasy, but not necessarily fantasy. It's out of this world. So is it just fantasy, or is it space and sci-fi and fantasy? I'm not really sure this is necessarily specifically for just male romance tropes. It's just in general for romance, because there's been an awful lot of, ice, what is it, ice barbarians and stuff like that, and orcs and dragons and things, and like Lily May's Monstrous series. So that's maybe like, is it this world and they go out of this world, because that's what happened. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do enjoy stories that take place in other places. But like, yeah, one day you're in, one day you're out. I've read some, or I've attempted to read some that were set in like far off galaxies and stuff, and I'm like, this is shit. This is absolutely shit. Like, either the world building has to be great, or it has to, like, the writing has to be, I think this is the key. The writing has to be good for an out of this world story. I have read a lot of fantasy that maybe makes it much easier, but space ones and other planets and stuff, that's a little bit harder. So yeah, Out of This World is kind of in the middle. I'm not entirely sure. Some are good and some are bad, kind of thing. So yeah, let's do the next one. Oh, there we go. Daddy, a daddy's boy. So this is the whole thing with the age gap. Maybe I should put age gap here and then daddy down here, because like I said, some age gaps I love. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I think we're gonna have to swap them, because this was the whole point of the conversation today. I have not found many stories with daddy kink, daddy play that I actually enjoy. And the ones that I have found were Lynn Van Dorn ones, because they were so stupid. They're so kind of ridiculous, but they're well written. She's got a great way of writing. I really do enjoy Lynn Van Dorn's writing style. It just resonates. Except, obviously, I do need to point out that one of the books, the North Shore series, the third one that was released, I did a review of this earlier this year. It did get released with a lot of errors, so hopefully that's been rectified. But she has a couple of daddy ones, and I'm not mad at them. And I don't think I've given anything that Lynn Van Dorn's written less than a 3. But anyone else, I have not found. So I'm going to put Daddy Kink one there, and actually put age gap here. Because she has got age gap ones, and I've enjoyed them. And she does have a couple of daddy ones that I thought were okay. Like, mostly it's 5s and 4s for her, but yeah, her daddy one was like a 3. Yeah, I think because you get age gaps either way, I think we're going to put this here. Because yes, sometimes it's in, sometimes it's not. Yeah, I think I feel much more confident about that. I would love to find a daddy one that I enjoy, but so far I'm not. I think I enjoy looking at a couple and being like, oh, maybe one of them's a daddy. Woohoo! But I don't necessarily enjoy the writing of the daddy kink stuff. So, for example, Thousand Autumns, Yan Wushu is, in my eyes, a daddy. And I love the idea of him with his mantities and his streak of white hair, and the way that he's so commanding, and he's such an arsehole. And I love that. And I could totally imagine him being a bit of a daddy. And yet, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. It's a great, Thousand Autumns. Man, I need to get a physical copy of that. Oh yeah. See, I would be quite happy to read about him being a daddy, but that's it. Okay, last one. This is everybody gay. You know what? I think everybody should be gay. I'm gonna put it in. That was an easy one for me to do. Ariana Grande. I want it. I got it. Because, and this is where this is the science bit. Because it has been scientifically proven that if you are queer in any way, there is a super high percentage that the people around you, the people that you gravitate towards, the people that you surround yourself with, that are your friends, that you spend time with, that you enjoy spending time with, are most likely also queer. They may not know that yet, but later on in life is when they have their bisexual awakening. Is later on in life when they're like, oh, that makes so much sense. And I am one of those people, because for the longest time so many people I knew that I was friends with were gay or bisexual or something like that. And I was like, oh, I'm just an ally. Yeah, I guess I'm just an ally. And then it was like, you know what? I think maybe you are a bit queer too. Like, I remember my grandpa saying to my mum, she's a queer one, that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it took me until my late 30s to be like, oh, I'm asexual. That makes sense. But that's because I didn't know what that was. Didn't even know what it was. Feels like such an old lady when you come to this point in time in your life and you're just like, oh, I didn't even know about these. So scientifically proven, everybody is gay. That's true. If there's a story and one of the characters is gay, and then one of the other characters is bisexual, and one of the other characters is demisexual, and then another character, it just considers themselves queer, or there's a non-binary character, or someone is trans, they are all together. It's like totally normal, because actually that is the case. So yeah, everybody's gay. Yes. And if the world is just like that, that's fine too. I think there's a manga out just now where everyone is supposed to be gay, like all the boys are supposed to date boys and all the girls are supposed to date girls. And then there's like a boy and a girl actually end up having feelings for each other, and it's like, oh, taboo. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting world. So yeah, everybody gay seems like, yeah, that's par for the course and scientifically proven. So yeah, that was everything. I have rabbited on for quite a while. Yeah, these are my final positions. I think if we look at Omegaverse fake, okay, so here's the thing. If we have an Omegaverse fake boyfriend MPreg story, I need that in the comments down below. If you know of an Omegaverse fake boyfriend MPreg story, I need those recommendations. If you've got shifters, enemies to lovers, polyamory, and everybody's gay, down in the comments. I need those. I need those. But definitely these ones. Any Omegaverse fake boyfriends MPreg. Oh, one that has all three. Chef's kiss, please, please. I need those. I really do actually. I'm feeling like this year my reading has not been great. And I could just sit and reread Bond at the moment, which is not good because I've already read it I think twice this year. So yeah. I think like 15 or 16 times overall. It's not good. But it is, but just in case you don't know, this is Piper Scott and Virginia Kelly, and Virginia Kelly's other name is Lynn Van Dorn, which is why I've been talking about it quite a lot. So yeah, there's quite a few here that I haven't read and I need to. But yeah, down here, Best Friend's Dad, not happy about that. Out for You, no. Daddy Boy, no, not really. Hurt Comfort, no. Gay for You, not really a fan. So yeah, anything above that, give me those recs. I hope you enjoyed this. This was pretty fun for me. I might do some more of these. I might do some more tier ranking just for shits and giggles. And I might put them up on my Patreon as well, just for my Patreon to have early access or some Patreon exclusives. So yeah, just in case you're wondering, I have a Patreon. Link is down in the description. $1 a month, you get early access, a shout out at the end of the video, and some Patreon exclusives. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm 365801. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all those good things help the channel. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. I'd love to know your thoughts on some of these tropes as well. And if there was some other ones that were missing, bisexual awakening, where's that? Gay pining, where's that? They maybe should have been included. So yeah, maybe there's a few more of these tropes that we need to talk about in a later video as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!